There's a fire inside, the kind that's been burning quietly for years, unseen by most, misunderstood by many. It screams that something's wrong with the world we live in. The tired rules, the endless waiting, the polished lies disguising struggle as freedom. You've built companies, led teams, made big decisions, but still, that question won't leave. Can private equity really make me a millionaire overnight? Maybe you've chased that dream quietly, or maybe it's been shoved down as reckless hope. Because the truth is, it feels like the system never really wants you to break free. It dangles promises of fast wealth, glamour, success stories whispered in boardrooms and Zoom calls. But the real deal? It's brutal, it's raw, and it's not for the many. Here's the first truth nobody will tell you. Private equity will not magically drop $1 million into your bank account by tomorrow morning. That's not how the real world works. Not the one built by those who dare to burn, not bend, who refuse to live a borrowed life. Overnight riches are illusions sold to keep the masses distracted, to fuel complacency, to create mirages that collapse when you reach for them. But within that truth lies a deeper, far more powerful secret. Private equity can transform lives, but only if you understand what nobody else does. The real game isn't quick wins or luck. It's a ruthless, patient fight for control over your world, your will, your reality. Let's break it down. Private equity isn't a magic lottery ticket. It's control over something bigger than you, a force that lets you reshape businesses, markets, even industries. But it demands obsession, cold calculation, and a refusal to be manipulated by comfort or consensus. If you're still waiting for some invisible hand to lift you up, that's the exact trap the world wants you trapped in. A life managed by someone else's rules, someone else's pace. Real private equity, real power, comes from becoming the game changer, not just playing the game. You see, many believe private equity is about throwing money at problems and hoping for a quick payoff. But professionals who get real know the truth. Private equity is about alignment. It's about finding the companies, the teams, the ideas that already carry the dormant power to explode, but they need the right hand, the right mind, the ruthlessness to unlock them. When that connection happens, slow-burning potential becomes a raging fire, growth that defies norms, profits that seem unreal to the untrained eye, but that takes skill, insight, and a mindset beyond comfort zones. Here's the pain most won't admit. You are probably surrounded by noise. Endless advice diluted by ego, fragmented strategies that promise much but deliver little. The system has optimized mediocrity, rewarded caution, and punished those who dare to challenge the status quo. But within that noise lies the brutal fact. The path to millions through private equity isn't crowded. It's lonely. It's filled with moments where everyone else walks away because fear of change is stronger than hunger for transformation. And that's your first real adversary, standing firm when the world tells you to fold. But imagine flipping the script. Instead of chasing the flicker of overnight wealth, imagine cultivating patient power, the kind of power that builds layers of value, that crafts influence slowly but surely. Imagine aligning with the companies that refuse to die quietly, that bear the scars of past failure but hold the blueprint for explosive returns hidden beneath. Imagine mastering the art of timing, where patience doesn't mean waiting, it means engineering, the moment that shatters complacency. That's what real private equity masters do. They reject the myth of instant fortune and embrace the agony of transformation. They know the million is not in luck, but in leverage. The leverage of insight, the leverage of human will, the leverage of owning the right piece of the right business at the right time. They create scenarios where value isn't given, it's made. And it's a violent, beautiful process. Are you ready to see the invisible chains? The unseen forces that hold back not just companies, but individuals? Most believe financial freedom is a destination, something external. But here's the brutal truth. Freedom is a state of mind, a state of sovereignty where your will cannot be broken by comfort or conformity. Private equity gives you a battlefield, a platform to break those chains, if only your mind is ready to wield it like a weapon. Listen close because this is where it flips from fantasy to reality. The true secret to becoming a millionaire through private equity is unlearning. Not just new tactics or fresh strategies, but unlearning. Everything you've been taught about risk, control, and value. You must dismantle your assumptions about what's safe, what's possible, what your limits are. The system has trained most to obey rules, stay small, and follow consensus. The rare few, they burn those rules and build new ones with their own hands. They redefine what private equity means by refusing to conform. Think about your own discomfort right now. That nagging feeling that what you've been told isn't enough, that every pillar society builds to keep you safe is actually a cage. That feeling is your unlocking point. It's the spark that can turn idle capital into real transformation. Private equity is your tool, but only if you wield it with relentless clarity, patience, and the courage to burn down what's comfortable. You might think, where do I even start? How do I avoid the traps? The endless noise? Here's something that makes you different right now. You know traditional paths are overcrowded and stale. The answer isn't in following more charts or investing blindly in hot sectors. It's in deep understanding of value. Not value as a buzzword, but value as a living, breathing thing. People, products, markets that bleed potential and need your intensity to bring them alive. The most successful private equity players aren't throwing money at shiny objects. They seek the misfits, companies misunderstood by others, overlooked because the crowd can't see beyond surface failures. Here lies gold hidden beneath scars. Your job? Become the rare one who can see potential in what others dismiss. Cultivate partnerships with leaders bold enough to burn with you, not bend. Build teams that challenge complacency and celebrate raw ambition. This network, this swarm of misaligned brilliance coming together, is where the future is forged. Because private equity at its heart isn't just investing. It's connection, a violent synergy where your unique strengths plug into the weaknesses of the business, forming a force that no market trend or system manipulation can stop. This is your rebellion against the desperate noise of mediocre advice, your way to rewrite the rules where the million isn't a fairy tale, but a crafted outcome. But hold on. Don't fall into the trap of impatience. Real estate riches, crypto hits, or startup frenzy teach people to believe in overnight successes. Private equity demands endurance, the kind of endurance that separates the rare from the ready-made. Patience here means endless refinement, slow power building, ruthless selection of when and where to strike. Those who weather that long game aren't just millionaires. They become kings of the new reality, sovereigns of their own destinies. At this moment, you confront a choice. Stick with the comfortable lie of easy money, or embrace the harsh, relentless truth of transformation. The system wants you to settle, to play safe, to dream small and live constrained. But your mind burns differently. You are wired not to just fix this world, but to transcend it. Private equity is not your cage, it's your bridge. Imagine an ecosystem built not to scale noise, but to amplify essence. Not to demand sameness, but to forge strength from difference. This is the new frontier for those who invest, not in stocks, but in people, in ideas, in futures that shake the very foundation of what's known. This is where the millionaire isn't made overnight by luck, but crafted by the relentless pursuit of what's rare, what's misunderstood, what's waiting to be unleashed. You don't need the crowd. You don't need the rules. You need the hunger to own your will, to question everything around you, to transform the realities you live in. That's the real power. In private equity, the wealth isn't just money on paper. It's freedom made real. sovereignty claimed with every deal, every strategic move that others fear to take. So stop chasing illusions today. Stop waiting for permission or perfect timing. Burn with the intensity this moment demands. The next millionaire? It could be you, not because the system said so, but because you chose to rewrite it. Private equity isn't a lottery, it's a crucible. And in that fire, you don't just become rich, you become unstoppable. Remember this: you don't need to change the world. You need to unleash yourself. The wealth, the power, the freedom, those are byproducts of one radical choice: to become more than what the system ever expected. Every second you hesitate is a moment lost in someone else's narrative. Every move you make now is a step into the new reality, where private equity is the tool, but you are the force that bends the future. This is the calling for those who are done waiting, done settling, ready to burn the old scripts and build new empires of their own will. If that fire is real, this path is yours. Wealth forged not by chance, but by relentless, unshakable becoming. That's what private equity really offers. The chance not just to make millions, but to make yourself, and through yourself, change what's next. And that power? It's waiting for the few who dare to grab it.